Learning target 8 was about using trigonometry to find missing sides of right triangles. On learning target 9 yesterday, we talked about like inverses. And so learning target 10 and 11 today are just wrapping all that together. So learning target 10 is using trigonometry to find missing angles of right triangles. And then learning target 11 is just solving right triangles. We have to do all of it, right? You have learned all of these things before. So this shouldn't take super long. If you have questions, though, please ask me if you have questions. All right? So for the first one, we're finding missing angle measures. So it says if side R is 7 units and side S is 10 units, we want to find angle R. So looking at angle R, we have the opposite side and the adjacent side. So what trig function do you use? So we have tangent of R equals 7 over 10. So to solve for angle R, I take the inverse. So angle R will be whatever the inverse tangent of 7/10 is. Again, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. It shouldn't change, but if your batteries die, it resets itself. And so I'm assuming, I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming then if you have one of the calculators you charge, like the new color ones where you charge them, you don't have batteries, that if they die, then it would reset itself. But I don't know that for sure. But I do know if you take the batteries out of one, then it resets itself. So make sure you're in degree mode. It should stay that way unless something happens. So inverse tangent of 7/10. And it said, yeah, no, that's not right. I'm in the wrong mode. See, what did I just say? Be in degree mode. I know, my bad. Well, that's not right. So the angle measure is 34.99, and it says to round to the nearest tenth, so we're going to call this 35 degrees. Questions about that one? Okay, can I erase that one? All right, on the second one, as if side R is 12 units and side T is 20 units, to find angle S. So this time, from angle S, we have the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. So we're going to use cosine. So cosine of angle S equals 12 over 20. And we find the inverse. We're going to round to the nearest tenth. Inverse cosine of 12 over 20. So 53.1 degrees. Any questions about learning target 10? Are we good with learning target 10? All right. Learning target 11 then. Just puts it all together. I'm going to do one of these. If you want me to do more, we will. But I'm just going to do one. Okay? Now, you can use any of the following things to do any of these problems, depending on information you're given. All right? You might need to use the Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side. You might need to subtract from 180 to find a missing angle. You might need to use trigonometry to find missing sides and missing angles. All right? It just depends on the information that's given to you. So, this first one. It says that angle B is 78 degrees and side A is 41 units. I need to find all of the missing sides and all the missing angles. The easiest thing to do is to find the missing angle first. So what's the missing angle going to be? Degrees. There's 180 degrees in a triangle. There's already a 90-degree angle. This is a right triangle. So we're showing 90 minus 78. Okay, so now we have all the angles. So now I need to find one of the missing sides. All right, I'm going to have to use trigonometry to do that because I don't have two sides, so I can't use the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm just going to stick with what they gave me originally. So I'm going to use angle B and side A, and I'm going to look for side B because that way I'm going in alphabetical order. So if I'm doing that, I've got the opposite side over the adjacent side, so that's tangent. Again, that's not the only way you could have approached this. So tangent of 78 degrees equals b over 41. Then I can cross multiply. We're still rounding to the nearest 10th. So we get 192.9 units. So in order to completely solve the triangle, I need side C. Now, there's two options. And then I'm going to tell you which option is better. First option, you have two sides, so you can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side. Second option, you can use trigonometry with one of the angles to find the missing side. I would not use the Pythagorean theorem because you just rounded to find side B, so side B really isn't 192.9. So if you round, you're going to have to round the other side as well. So I would suggest using trigonometry because that's going to be a little more exact. Does that make sense? So this time, I'm still going to go with what they gave me originally. So the 78-degree angle, side A, I'm going to find side C. That's not the only way to do it. That's just what I'm going to do. So I've got adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cosine. I've got, they gave me the 78-degree angle in the problem, and they gave me this 41 in the problem, and I'm going to find this right here. Right, so that's adjacent and hypotenuse, right? You could have used the 12-degree angle, Cyrus, and doesn't make a difference. It would have been fine. You could have done like opposite hypotenuse and sine with a 12-degree angle. So there's more than one option here. So if I cross multiply, I need to solve for C, so I'll end up dividing. (41) divided by cosine of 78. I get 197.2. Questions about that? I'm not going to do the other problems unless you want me to. But like on the next one, you're given two sides. So if you're given two sides, what's the only way to find the third side? Pythagorean theorem. So I'm not saying don't ever use the Pythagorean theorem. I'm saying don't use the Pythagorean theorem if you've already rounded and things, if you could use trigonometry instead. Okay? Any questions?